Welcome to the world's first Straight Talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
We both were off for a week or so. You're still jet lagged, and I went ahead and broke my wrist. And
Yay!
I know, so it never stops. But I thought I'd bring out my favorite topic, or your favorite topic, which is what? What do you think your favorite topic to get all charged up about is?
PG&E.
What? PG&E requests another rate hike, 7th in just over a year, and I think you're really gonna like the reason for this increase.
They don't usually tell you the real reason, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they applied for it with the CPUC, so they had to say why they needed to do this.
And are you going to give me an ABC choice? Choice number
No.
A?
No.
Okay.
It's
What's the answer?
It's the craziest one. It's to protect investors. So.
Huh?
So because they need to increase prices so they can have a better return for their investors, so they can attract investors.
Okay.
I knew I got you all charged up. So
I'm rubbing my face in exasperation. That doesn't sound like a good reason.
Reduce costs, reduce wildfires, reduce. Instead, there's more. Give me more money. And it's so funny too, because on the page that PG&E is running all these ads, and it has the CEO, and she's meeting with supposedly a ratepayer, saying, we really hear your concerns, and we know how hard it is out there. And in the corner of the ad, it says, customers are not paying for this ad. So I said, well, if customers aren't paying for this ad, then how about you ask for the increase from whoever's paying for this ad?
Hey!
But yeah, it is you can't make this stuff up. I've been listening to the Gavin Newsom podcast, and one of the questions that was asked him is that, how is it that PG&E or all of the California utilities are on average 7 times higher than every other, than the other main other states. And we got to look into that. I understand it's a big problem here. And he's pointing to lawyers and environmentalists and lawsuits and, the $1 billion burning down the town and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
we got all that in California. That's for sure.
We got all that. Yeah. We got lots of fires and lots of natural disasters, and PG&E's on the scene to restore power as quickly as possible. But, it all costs money, Adam. All costs money. It's just
I did hear Gavin say something super profound, Jamie, and that was, you aren't in traffic, you are traffic.
That is true.
Yep. That goes a long way to solving the problem too. Thank you.
Well, there's plenty of things we can do. But it's not the traffic or California program or California podcast. But I just thought, wow, 7th increase. So people ask me all the time when I'm out and about, especially customers, because they're really concerned. How are we doing? Are we still in business? Or we think we're going to be in business? It's our 17th year, which is like 170 years in any other industry. And
wow.
I let them know. I mean, it's just so much turmoil. I mean, even Tesla, which we thought was nothing, that company is bulletproof. I mean, they're making semi trucks and they're flamethrowers and they're doing tequila and everything. And they do make cars too, electric cars.
And big trucks.
Big trucks, little trucks, garbage dumpster trucks. And,
wow.
No, I mean the trucks that look like a garbage dumpster, and
Oh,
look, the
Jesus.
Cybertruck.
Yay.
It's a great truck. I've ridden in it and have driven it. Inside. It's very it's really neat, really cool, great ideas. Just not a huge fan of the outside, but in any event, uh, boy, Tesla's their stock is down 33% since November, and
Mm-hmm.
the board has asked old Elon to go away, and still waiting to see if that's going to happen. But just this week, I mean, we get so many requests for proposals, and we've been proposing the Powerwall 3, which is the Tesla battery. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason is that it's really the best value battery. It does the most. It's kind of the best available battery on the market. But people are saying, and we're getting not one, not two, I mean, dozens of people saying anything but Tesla. I don't care. I will never, ever do business with that. I would want them to have one nickel of my money. And we said, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be more expensive. You know, we can go with the Franklin battery, which is a great battery. It's a higher capacity battery, 15 kilowatt hours, longer warranty, 15 years, which is great. It's
Mm-hmm.
more difficult to install, so it's cost more to install, and it's a more expensive battery just to start with. And don't care. I'm not going with a Powerwall. And it's so once we get to the emotional side of purchasing instead of the logic side, I don't know how Tesla comes back from that. And that's just on a backup battery. That's not on their cars. And so um,
Wow.
we will see. You know, we'll see if there. We've always talked about the people who can yell insults at other people or get into fights with other people, and then they get sued and they end up paying. But it doesn't matter because they have plenty of money for that. But it's the people who can light their own pile of money on fire and say, whatever, I don't care. And I'm sure he's in that position. But
Hmm.
lots of retirement funds are invested with Tesla, and lots of countries are invested with Tesla, and
Yeah.
it is interesting. So, big news was that the Tesla board of directors, let him do whatever he wanted for years and years, and so now, he's got tons of lawsuits, and now they're starting to lose those lawsuits, and it's having a dramatic effect on the stock, which is really starting to hamper investor confidence. And so as
Mm-hmm.
more investors leave Tesla for other companies or for other investment opportunities, um, it's going to be interesting to see what happens for sure. But definitely open the door for lots and lots of opportunity for other companies to get their feet into the Tesla brand. But the crazy part is all self-inflicted. Is that it's this one guy who has decided to get into the rocket business and get into the AI business and the social media business, and kind of leave his car business for somebody else. Or hopefully everything works out, and it doesn't seem to be working out so good. So, but what do you
Oof.
think?
Uh,
Amazing, huh? All right.
I do have a Tesla, Jamie,
Wow.
and I bought it a few years back, and
Okay.
it's a great car.
Yep.
I love that it's American.
Yep.
I lived abroad for many, many years, and when I was planning our return back to the U.S., I first got a Chevy Volt. I wanted to support American cars, and I luckily was a Chevy made a great car. They don't make it anymore, but the Chevy Volt. So we got a couple of those, and then we got a Tesla. I'm a big proponent of American made stuff, especially like you know the car industry, where it supports so many, and yeah,
Okay.
it's tough for me to see that. Elon's position in our government has eclipsed the the whatever thousands of people that his companies employ is rough. It's got to be
Tens of
rough.
thousands. Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you mentioned Chevy. So right now, though, in a couple podcasts ago, we talked about Ford and PG&E teaming up to offer vehicle to grid and vehicle to
Mm.
home. Uh,
Yes.
okay, so now GM with their products are now people who have these EVs and sign up for the vehicle to home bundle. So for the people that don't know, what that means is if you have an electric vehicle, say it's a Chevy Silverado truck, and there's a power outage, you can now pull power from the truck to support your home and charge up through the home. But that infrastructure between home and the vehicle is really expensive. And so now there is a $4,500 rebate that comes from PG&E towards all of that infrastructure and that GM provides. So pretty interesting, because the more people can use their electric vehicles as the backup battery, the better, especially if they're, they can, these batteries are gigantic, 100 kilowatt hour compared to a Powerwall, which is 13.5 kilowatt hours. So storing that much power and then being able to drive away, if there's an emergency, that kind of thing. But it is, so there is some innovation happening. We didn't really want this to be a Tesla bash podcast, but it is fascinating to see what's happening, and fascinating to see how GM and these companies are really taking advantage and really trying to make the electric vehicle kind of the solution for a lot of these systems. So potentially you could use solar power to charge up your electric vehicle, and then and start discharging that power at night or during peak times to reduce your electricity bill. Now, I don't know what happens when you need power in the morning to drive away, but if you just left the truck there or let it half charged, then I think it would be in good shape. But all very interesting, very interesting what's happening in the world of solar and electricity, and never a dull moment. We can't go away for 1 week before it all goes crazy. So we can wrap it up there.
All right, cool. We are going to wrap it up there. Thank you for taking another few minutes out of your week to learn a little bit more about solar. Jamie's been doing this podcast for, 8 years now, I think, Jamie. 7 years, 8 years. So he has gone through every topic imaginable. So this podcast is a labor of love for him, just because there's so much information out there that can be really confusing to someone considering going solar. So if that's you, you can go to our website, solarharmonics.com, click on the podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to a library of our past episodes. If you don't see a topic there that you want some more information on, you can always message us at Straight Talk Solarcast. You can go to our Facebook page, message us through there, and Jamie will be sure to answer it on an upcoming episode. And finally, if you have a free moment, we'd love a 5-star review wherever you listen to this podcast. They always are welcome. We love doing that. It helps spread the word about the podcast and about educating yourself about solar. So until next time, everyone, see you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com, and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.